All right, guys, welcome back. Today is a special. Well, today's the day, and what we're gonna be working on today is the radiator on the Land Cruiser. So I was looking at a bunch of forums. I was looking at what's the right one, what's the wrong one. I guess at the end of the day, it's always hit or miss. So other than going factory OEM, but then I saw a lot of the forums was even talking about. If you go to the Toyota dealership, sometimes they're even installing Denso products, unless specified to, unless the client or the client says I want OEM Toyota, they're actually installing Denso. So I'm here at 1-800 Radiator and AC. I was here yesterday and I stopped by and I kind of get an idea what the radiator would cost. So I'm here back and I'm back. So let's go in here and pick up this radiator, and hopefully, yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted. We're at 1-800 Radiator and AC.
That's the hoses, clamps, radiator cap, thermostat and gasket. You get a cincher.
Is there any warranty on the radiator?
Yeah, you get a lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects.
Okay.
Anywhere fine. And let me go get the radiator for you,
okay? All right, so we got all the parts. Now I just gotta go get some fluids and then get to work. Back at the house, change clothes. Got the Land Cruiser up on jacks. Well, not jack stands, up on ramps. And got all the parts. Denso is what I went with. Got 2 buckets for $1.98 or 89 for the coolant. Let's see what else I got in here. I got, I want to say it might be lower hose. It might be upper. I haven't looked yet. But upper and lower hoses. Got thermostat, got radiator cap, got aftermarket hose clamps, and the thermostat seal. Alright, so first and foremost, I am not a mechanic. Don't claim to be one. Don't claim to know that I know everything. This is actually, to be honest with you, my first time changing out a radiator, and I don't even know how long. I want to say a very long time. Most of the cars that I drive haven't had to do that, so this will be my first time doing it, and I'd probably say in 20 years. So bear with me if I might be doing some stuff wrong, but it's all right. That's what we're here for, right? Again, I'm not claiming to be a mechanic, so don't take this too serious, and don't take my channel too serious. I'm just a car enthusiast, so like cars. Well, you can't even see it, but it's covered underneath the sleeping bag because I'm going on a trip. So stay tuned for the next video on that. But yeah, don't just enjoy this channel. I'm just documenting my journey, and that's it. Just documenting, not claiming to be anything but a regular person. So let's take the coolant out of this. When it comes to these older cars, this was actually a California car originally, so the original owner actually lived in Carlsbad, I want to say. I'm guessing, but in San Diego. So this car has 0 rust, but because the car is 22 years old, I always suggest just spray some blaster on the bolts just to make it a little easier. So big shout outs to them. They're always taking care of me. This is not a paid ad. This is just them saying thank you for using their product. So let's actually, we got to get the plate, the protecting plate, skid plate, whatever you want to call it. Take this off and drain the oil, drain the coolant. See, don't take this too serious. So just have fun. So let's do that. All right, I took down all the screws. At least I think I did. I think this slides right out. Oh no. There's one more screw right then in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and then 8 right down the middle. Perfect. Over here. So now this gives us access to coolant lines. The coolant lines right here, sorry. Using the buckets that I got at Walmart for $1.89. Let's just make sure that we have our bolts in one spot. We're gonna make sure always that the car is not has been on. Obviously, if it's cooler, the better. This car hasn't been turned on other than getting on the ramp since about a week. So for sure, give it at least enough time to cool down. Put some lubricant on that. There you go. A little tight. Drained out completely. I just plugged it back up. You only really need one bucket, so it took less than one of these little small buckets. So make sure to dispose of these the right way. So we're just gonna move it aside. Kind of wipe down my mess because I don't want to. A little bit. First, because I haven't done this and I haven't looked at instructions or anything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and open this to kind of match it to see where the screws are, which I have an idea. Ow, damn, watch it with the staples. Oh, so I'm assuming the screws are, the brackets are right here. The coolant, this is on. So, let's match it again. It's the first time doing this in a long time. Took out this, put the plug on it just to plug this. It drained out a little bit, so it didn't make too much of a mess. So as soon as it drains out a little bit more, then I'll release this side as well, and then I'll put a spark plug in it, just like that, just to keep the fluids from here. So those came with little covers. So what we did is put this cover back on here and not to make a complete mess when we pull out the radiator. So now they're plugged, so that made it easier. And again, I used spark plugs for these right here. Little Mexican tricks or tricks of the trade. Loosened up the air box to give us more space. And one thing I didn't, also it gives us access to the thermostat. One thing I didn't say is I disconnected the battery as well. So now we have access to the hose here, and it gives us more space. So just wiggling it out, I didn't have to take the fan shroud out nor the fan. So here's the old one. So I was able to again take it out without having to remove the fan shroud. I don't want to bend it over too much because it still has some here's the repair we did before. So the only thing that the aftermarket one doesn't have is, obviously a lot of you guys know, is this foam around the edge to keep the cool around it. I don't think I have any glue. Maybe I'll go buy some, but check that out. There's a bunch of dust in there. So the car has 204,000 miles. Original Radiator. Alright, so I'm going to transfer the shroud over to that one and then keep on moving. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to... Well, the right way is to put the foam around it to keep all the cool air in the front and seal it right, but all this foam stuff, a lot of you guys say, some of you guys said you guys didn't put it on, some of you guys said you guys did. I don't know what to do. I'll think about it and keep moving. Alright, so I'm losing light just because it's nighttime, so I took the brackets off the OEM one, the factory one, and mounted them to the side, both sides. The fan shroud is pretty easy. It slides right in, and then there's two bolts right here, one right here. Fortunately, this one broke, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting the fan shroud in first, because I don't want to break it again. So it broke in half, well actually it broke completely, but I JB welded the part that I did find. And I think I might find another part right here. But anyways, might just take this off, put it in first so that I don't damage it again. So it's probably harder to find that piece, I'm sure, but I'm gonna take it off, put it on, and then slide the radiator in, and then put this right on it, because it's pretty simple to drop right in. So I'm gonna take the fan shroud out first. And while we're here, we're just gonna change out the thermostat. So I'm gonna wipe it down. It's a little gunky, and also big shout outs to Gunk for always taking care of me too, sending me free product. Thanks, Gunk. What I'm doing is wiping down this part because it has some residue on it. So with Gunk, good for engine, good for hands, good for everything. Gunk wipes actually. Alright, when I remove this neck, I noticed like a lot of, like I mentioned, I try to wipe it down with Gunk wipes, but then I started to notice this pitting right here. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. Focus right there. You can see that pitting right there. Then it's pitted, and then it has a line that goes all the way across over here, and then there's another pit right here. So I'm afraid that if I put this on, that it's going to cause an issue. So we might have to stall this. So hopefully I'm going to see if I could get this aftermarket, but if they have it aftermarket, which I hope they do, if not, then I'm gonna be in big trouble. So stay tuned. So I went ahead and made the decision to just go ahead and utilize that. It might not be a big deal. I'm just gonna clamp the hose a little bit higher because it was more towards the bottom middle. So I just made a decision that I'm just gonna run it, at least just for now, until I'll switch it out with an OEM eventually. So the neck is back on. So I buttoned up everything. It was pretty easy. The hardest part, really, to be honest with you, was recording the video at the same time. Alright, so the hardest part that I had an issue with was this bracket here for the reservoir coolant. I had an issue with that. The hose was a little bit too long. I had to trim it down, but other than that, the bottom one was perfect. The bottom one sat perfectly in the groove. I'm gonna double check everything again. Coolant lines are on. Airline's on, new thermostat is on. Let's look under here. Where's the light? training lines, coolant, fluid is on. This line is on. I just gotta I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna purge it, whatever you want to call it, bleed it, whatever you want to call it, and then I'll put the cover. Just want to make sure all the lines are good and we're not leaking anything. But I think that was it. It was pretty, like I said, it was pretty easy. The hardest part was actually having to try to film it. All right, so this is the coolant I got. Asian vehicle, Toyota, Lexus, and Zion. Anti-coolant red. Then I got also this spill-free funnel. Hopefully I'm gonna see how this works. And it's supposed to eliminate spills and mess, trap air pockets, which usually caused by erratic cooling systems, and performance controls a proper amount of coolant entering the system. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. I ran out of memory, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to give you as much as I can, but if not, at the end I'm just gonna let you know. This is how much I cut off on that aftermarket line. I'm gonna keep these just in case, because we're going on a quick trip to Anza Borrego, and you never know. Always keep these and always take extra coolant. So I'm gonna put the coolant in it now. Alright, the spills kit is pretty cool. You get the right cap that goes here and the right adapter, and you fill this in. What it ends up doing, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already done this. This is my first time, so I find this pretty cool and pretty neat. So you're gonna fill it up. You're gonna fill up just 3/4 of the way. Then you're gonna let it have the thermostat open. Once it does, then you fill it more. And what you're gonna do is try to get as much fluid into here so that there's no air bubbles. So at the end of the day, you're not trapping all air bubbles. I guess that's what you're saying. So I don't know. Here it is. I suck at this job, but I'm learning. Again, newbie when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. I'm old school. I didn't know about this stuff back in the days, but now let's try it. Alright, so final recap. Installed. I ran it for about maybe 30 minutes on. Filled it up. Didn't have no bubbles. Hopefully that'll work out. Temperature didn't rise past the normal level. I don't have a temperature, or I don't even have a scanner, but yeah, everything seems to fine. No leaking, no nothing. So splash pan or skid plate or skill guard or whatever, underbody guard, whatever it is called, on. All the lines are good. Definitely, if you're doing any type of radiator or cooling stuff, this was really helpful. So I filled it up, and while it was sitting there, I pushed it back in, and it held it, so I didn't make zero spills. The remaining coolant that was in there went into the reservoir, and it filled it right up, so that worked out well. I'm gonna drive it tomorrow. I'm on my way to a special place. I'll have a video for that after this one. Pick up some stuff from my friends at and yeah, so I'm gonna drive it up there. Hopefully everything goes well as far as the car, and that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of not very good, but this might, I think it was harder. I think it was more focused on trying to get the focusing on getting it done and doing it right than more of the video purpose of it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll let you know what I think of the Denso Radiator. I'm going to use it this weekend. And yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It was fairly easy, super easy. It took longer because I was filming, but yeah, appreciate you guys. See you guys on the next one.